Hi, today I'm going to do another look inspired by the autumn-winter collections, again on Luma. This time it's metallic smoky eyes. It's a massive, massive trend. It's great because smoky eyes can be quite dense and quite hard to wear, but if you add the metallics, not only does it give it kind of a sparkle, makes it more evening, more fun, but also it can make it more wearable because you can play with the colours a lot more. Now, it was across all of the shows. I particularly like some of the work that Pat McGrath did. I loved the Roberta Cavalli show, and I hope you like this look. So I'm going to start by using NARS Pro Prime, and I'm just going to put that onto a brush and use that all over Luma's eyelids, just to help to really keep the shadow in place. So I'm going to skip base and go straight into the eyes, just because I'm doing a very, very smoky eye and it's bound to drop down. I'm going to use this Inglot shadow in number 63 to start, so a very dark charcoaly black colour, and I'm going to apply it with a MAC 217. So I'm just going to start by patting it on to Luma's eyelid. So I'm just building up from the centre out. In small circles, so I get quite a good dense coverage. Now I'm going to start to go into the socket line, just bringing the shadow up. And take it right across from the inner corner. I'm not going to blend this out too much yet, because when I add the metallics I'm going to use them to really blend out this socket line area. For now I just want to get a really good base of depth there, so lots of dark shadow. Okay, so I've mapped out my basic shape. Next I'm going to use Makeup Forever Aqua Eyes in black. Before I do that, I'm going to use a, look up for me, just a little bit more of the Pro Prime underneath the NARS Pro Prime. Okay, so starting with the pencil, I'm going to do a really nice line here. So just working really into the roots of those lashes, coming right into the inner corner. It's going to be quite thick, quite even all the way along. Open for me, and just look that way. So right into the inner corner and all the way down to here, and then underneath. Look up for me, Luma. So traced all around the eyes, and I'm going to do a little into the waterline as well. If you look up for me. So just finishing off the pencil, and this is all going to get smudged and metallized in a minute. Now I'm just going to add some of this Inglot DS500, which is slightly more shimmery grey, charcoaly grey. So just going over the top of that pencil underneath. Come down quite far, further than you think. Just really, really soften that all off. And just a little bit, not as much softening on the top. You can leave it quite a strong line there, but underneath it just is more flattering. Look up for me, if it's a bit softer there. I'm just doing exactly the same again on this eye. So just smudging in the pencil and going over the top with this slightly shimmery charcoal colour. It just looks more flattering if it's softer underneath. On the top it's fine to leave the severe line, but it's just a nicer effect underneath if it's a little bit softer. Next I'm going to go in with some Copper Sparkle. It's a MAC pigment. I'm going to use a flat brush. It's actually a concealer brush, a synthetic brush. Just going to pat some onto the brush, pat it onto my hand. Now I'm going to lay this right in the centre, flat over the top. Don't worry about dropping down, that's why we're doing our eyes first. I never really get the thing of putting all that powder under the eyes and then having to clear off all the powder and it's all dry and powdery. I much prefer to do it this way round, and then I can easily clean up under the eyes before base. So just building up a bit more shine here. So bring it a little bit more into this inner corner. So you're just feathering it towards lightly there. The main concentration is on the centre, and we're going to leave the outer corner dark. And then with a clean 217, just pick up the bronze and start to soften those edges. And pick up a little bit of the bronze at the same time with the 217, and we can start to really soften into this socket line. If you need to add more bronze, you can go back in with your clean 217. And then using the one with the darker colour on, just clean up this outer edge, keep it dark. So just going over the outer corners with the dark inglot colour again, just because I want to keep them really, really dark, and extending it out. So next I'm going to go on to some gold. I'm going to add some gold pigment by MAC. This is the old packaging, but it's pretty much the same as old gold, I think it is, in the new one. It's a slightly antique-y looking gold. And I'm just going to add some gold in this inner corner here. And just blend that in a little bit. I'll go back in and blend all this once we've got some concealer and base and everything on. Okay, next I'm going to just take some Bioderma and really clean up all of the skin underneath the eyes before we start concealer and foundation. Now I'm going to use the NARS Oil-Free Pro Prime. This is a nice light primer. Next I'm going to use some MAC Pro Longwear in NC25 as a foundation. This is quite a medium to heavy coverage, and I don't really want it to be too heavy, so I'm just going to put a really thin layer on. So I'm not going to apply too much and just really blend well. So I've finished the base and I've used some concealer, some Clinique concealer under the eyes. Now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of Vichy Derma Blend. This is number 15 with a very tiny brush, and just do a little bit of extra concealing just where it's needed. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is curl eyelashes. Sit down for me. Next I'm going to try this mascara. I haven't used it before. It's Falsify. It's a new one by Boot 17, and it's a false lash effect with a nice huge brush, so it looks like it's going to be just exactly what I want. Is that with me? And put tons on at the roots. So there's the mascara on, so it's a little bit clumpy, which I quite like. It's gone sort of really dense. So next I'm going to do brows. I'm going to use a little bit of brow powder. Luma's got amazing eyebrows anyway, and I don't want to make them too dark because otherwise they're going to take over from the eyes. So I'm just going to fill them in a little bit. Next on to cheeks, and I'm going to use the Guerlain Terracotta in 01. This is a nice matte powder which is good for contouring and it's not too dark. Bronzing powder, I should say. So I'm just going to bring it really just to create shape in the face, because we've got a lot going on now with the eyes. We don't really need any strong blusher. So just some gentle contouring. So I'm just contouring a little bit across the top of Luma's forehead, a little bit of shading around the sides of the face, and then bringing this just slightly onto the cheeks themselves, just blending up. So next I'm going to use a little bit of Nubo Lip Perfecting Lip Balm and some of the Cream Puff Collection 2000. This is in the really pale beige colour, which is called Powder Puff. So I'm going to mix the two of them. The last time I used this moisturising matte lip cream in a video, I was told by viewers that it's very similar to one by NYX. So if you like the look of it and you're not in the UK and can't get this one, then you should check that one out. I haven't tried it myself, but I hear it's pretty similar. Next I'm going to go back in with the Copper Sparkles, and I've used a damp brush this time. And I'm going to go back in and just add a little bit more intensity, a little bit more of a metallic effect just on the centre there, coming into the corner, just to bump up the effect. And last, similar with a small brush, a little bit of that bronze that's still on the back of my hand. There's not too much on the brush there. Look up for me. Just going to slightly smoke the bottom of the black here. Give it a little bit more of a metallic feel. So that's the finished look. So a really, really dark base, a very, very dramatic dark black smoky eye, and then layered on top of that the gold pigment sparkles all over the centre of the lid. Underneath, very softly smoked out quite far down with the bronze right at the edge there, and then a pop of gold in the corner just to really give the eye dimension. The rest of the face is very natural looking, not too much colour in the cheek, and a very nude and natural lip.